Good morning all. You are still with me, Kezia Ginting, in Diponegoro TV News. Today, I want to tell you about the headline news that the title is All Hands on Deck to Fight Covid-19 Pandemic. Hope you can enjoy it. Only by coming together will the world be able to face down COVID-19 pandemic and its shattering consequences. At an emergency virtual meeting last Thursday, a group of 20 leaders took steps in the right direction. But we are still far away from having a coordinated, articulated global response that meets the unprecedented magnitude of what we are facing. Far from flattening the curve of infection, we are still well behind it. The disease initially took 67 days to infect 100,000 people. Soon, 100,000 people and more will be infected daily. Without concerted and courageous action, the number of new cases will almost certainly escalate into the millions, pushing the health system to the breaking point, economies into a nosedive, and people into despair with the poorest hit hardest. Because of that, we must prepare for the worst and do everything to avoid it. Here is a 3-point call to action based on science, solidarity, and smart policies for doing just that. First, suppress the transmissions of the coronavirus. That requires aggressive and early testing, contact tracing, complemented by quarantines, treatment, and measures to keep first responders safe, combined with measures to restrict the movement and contact. Such steps, despite the disruption they cause, must be sustained until the therapies and a vaccine emerge. Crucially, these rapid and cooperative efforts should be guided by the World Health Organization. And the second, tackle the frustrating social and economic dimensions of the crisis. We know that this virus is spreading like a wildfire and is likely to swiftly move into the global south where the health system faces constraints. People are more vulnerable and millions live in the densely populated slums and overcrowded settlements for refugees and internally displaced persons. Fueled by such conditions, the virus could devastate the developing world and then reemerge where it was previously suppressed. Clearly, we must fight this virus for all of humanity with a focus on most affected like women, older persons, youth, low-wage workers, the small and medium enterprises, the informal sector, and vulnerable groups. And the third, recover better. We simply cannot return to where we were before COVID-19 struck with the societies unnecessarily vulnerable to crisis. This pandemic has reminded us that the starkest way possible that the price we pay for the weakness in the health system, social protection, and the public service. Now is the time to redouble our effort to build the more inclusive and sustainable economies and societies that are more resilient in the face of pandemics, climate change, and the other global challenges. This recovery must lead into a different economy. Our roadmap remains the 2030 Agenda and Sustainable Development Goals. Okay, that's all about that news that I can tell you today. Thank you for your attention.